Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's third and final video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 10th of September, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and GFS Ensembles. Maybe in a couple of weeks, we'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, and that gets us towards the final stages of September. I'll get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say that the first video release today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast, and if that wasn't enough, we have also released a European outlook. Please check out those 2 vids if you'd like to do that. Like, share and subscribe on all of today's videos and content, and thank you so much everybody for doing that. Once again, we're starting off in the tropical and subtropical Atlantic, so all sorts going on there. So let's begin. We're going to start off with this yellow X just here. That's disturbance 2, and it has a 30% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 and 7 days. We've also got a red X just here. That's disturbance 1. That has a 70% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 and 7 days. With that one, they're saying showers and thunderstorms are gradually becoming better organised in association with an area of low pressure located just west of the Cape Verde Islands. Environmental conditions appear conducive for further development of this system, and a tropical depression is likely to form during the next couple of days while the system moves west-northwestwards across the eastern tropical Atlantic. Interest in the Cape Verde Islands should monitor the progress of this system. That's one to watch. We've also now got Tropical Storm Jose, giving maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour. This is going to be a tropical storm and will become a tropical depression tomorrow before it fades out. Where next? Okay, we've got Franklin. Let's deal with Franklin next, giving maximum sustained winds of 100 miles per hour. Hurricane Franklin, giving maximum sustained winds of 100 miles per hour. So Franklin is going to push into the North Atlantic as a post-tropical storm tomorrow, and will then merge with an area of low pressure through the beginning of next week. Franklin is helping to promote the ridge of high pressure over us for the weekend and next week. That's going to bring back summer. So although we don't get impacted directly by Franklin, it will have, impacts for us. And finally, we've got Adalia, giving maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour. Now, tropical storm Adalia, formerly a major hurricane, of course. So this is going to continue as a tropical storm into the early part of next week. Going to move through the Bermuda Islands, by the look of it, over the weekend, and into the early part of next week. Still in business, still there as a tropical storm. We'll have to wait and see whether that, powers back up to a hurricane or not over the warm waters of the North Atlantic, but definitely Adalia still, or Dalia as I call it, still in business to the beginning of next week. We shall keep you posted on all of the developments. Central temperature has ticked down slightly again. We're now sitting at 16.5, which is 0.7 of a degree above the 61 to 99 average. That's the visual to yesterday to the 30th. I think that might come in at 16.4. It might tick down by another 0.1 of a degree. That updates tomorrow. So 16.4 could be our landing figure, above July at 16.1, but below June at 17.0. So June takes the plaudits for this summer as the warmest month. I noticed somebody in the comments yesterday was asking when was the last time June was the hottest month of the summer. It's actually a long time ago, back in 1970. When June was the hottest of the 3 summer months. So it's a very unusual and rare occurrence for that to happen. Therefore, a very different summer that we have had this year. These are the GFS upper temperature and precipitation ensembles the next couple of weeks. We're at Nottingham today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Nottingham, starting off around a little bit below average at the moment. We will find the upper air temperatures lifting back up, though, as we go through the first week of September. Yes, much warmer, if not hotter, weather is on the way. As we go through the first week of September, see the upper air temperatures then coming down back closer to average for the second week of the month. And precipitation-wise, so we've got some showery bursts to come today, tonight, and possibly tomorrow. After that, it's dry, though, for the first week of September. Possibly signs of something a bit more unsettled coming along the second week of September. But again, that's a long way off. It's at same range, therefore it is unreliable. Within the more reliable time frame, which is the next week, 10 days, the trend is definitely towards hotter and also drier weather. Temperature anomalies on the 31st of August and 8th of September are coming out above average. All parts of Europe, really, coming out warmer than normal, except for south and west of Spain and Portugal. And precipitation anomalies from the 31st of August to the 8th of September, drier than average. So a warm and dry, if not hot and dry, first week to September. Latest Windflow Map from earth.nullschool.net shows that we've got an area of low pressure moving in from off the Atlantic today, but this is our final low. High pressure will be taking over from the weekend onwards. We see it's very nicely with the latest UK Met Euro run to midnight on Sunday. A large area of high pressure building through the country. Notice the remains of Franklin just here, that area of low pressure. That's helping to disrupt the jet stream and promote this ridge, and also bring quite a lot of warmth northwards into the North Atlantic with it. That's Monday. Look at that large area of high pressure dominates, not just across the UK, but most parts of Europe, and that big area of high pressure. And then that high pressure sticking around through most of next week, really becoming more focused on Scandinavia. Eventually got a cut-off low out to west of Spain, Portugal. Perfect recipe to draw the wind up from a southerly or a southeast direction. Up come the hot upper air temperatures, plus 15 Celsius iceberg wide through the country, plus 20 Celsius iceberg is getting into the south of the country. It will be interesting to see how hot that could get the temperature. Could we see the temperature going to the mid-30s next week? You know, it will depend on sunshine amounts and whatnot. It is day by day getting harder and harder and harder to get the temperature into the 30s Celsius, never mind the mid-30s Celsius, when the sun is weakening as rapidly as it is at the moment. Nevertheless, it was only in 2016 that we got the temperature to 34 degrees in Gravesend, so it is distinctly possible to get the temperature into mid-30s Celsius. This is a little bit earlier than that happened as well in 2016, so it's just a case of watch this space and let's see how hot the temperature gets next week. That's how we end up. You commit your for midnight on Thursday. Again, big area of high pressure dominates from Scandinavia, drawing in the wind from an east-southeast direction. Upper air temperatures are still looking hot there. Several days of hot, dry weather potentially next week. Icon, again, building up that ridge of high pressure on Sunday into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know, the high pressure dominates throughout, bringing loads of dry weather as well, drawing in the wind from a southerly southeast direction. A prolonged spell of very warm, if not hot, and dry weather there with Icon. The GFS midnight run, all much of a muchness for Sunday. High pressure is in the ascendancy. That big area of high pressure dominating weather through to the middle of next week. Low pressure trying to get in from off the Atlantic, but not really doing so successfully. Looks like it'll be a little bit fungy there from south and the west by Thursday, but essentially still high pressure is in control as we go through into the second weekend of September. Up to day 10, study the temp. We are still under that large area of high pressure. Now, beyond that, it does begin to break down. Though some low pressure starts coming in from off the Atlantic by Monday the 11th, begin to turn just that little bit cooler and more showery, and that's a trend then through to the end of GFS midnight run, with low pressure come in from off the Atlantic, bring a significant drop in temperature and cooler and more unsettled weather through to the middle of September. Notice again we have the remains of a tropical storm and or a hurricane there in the North Atlantic when you get through to 16th of September. Of course, that's over 2 weeks away, so we'll have to wait and see about that. GFS 6Z, so again, much of muchness for Sunday. High pressure remains well and truly dominating the weather as we go through weekend and into next week as well. Gradually through next week, high pressure slips further eastwards, allows the wind to go into that southerly. Now, BC, up comes the hot air from the south, plus 20 cells iceberg is getting into that southeastern corner by Thursday. High pressure continues to reach the country up to day 10. That's the 10th of September, albeit bringing slightly cooler, fresher air from the east-northeast now by this point, so the upper air temperatures are lowering. And then beyond that, we find low pressure beginning to revert to west and south. That was a little bit thundery, maybe, for day 11. That will bring the wettest weather into the south with that area of low pressure. Northern area still a lot of dry weather. And then the high pressure actually comes back again as we go towards the middle part of September with the high pressure from Scandinavia returning us to mostly dry conditions. If you're enjoying the video, please can you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. We have passed 16.7k now, so thank you so much, everyone, for getting us to 16.7k. We're now pushing on 16.8k, so we need to put on around 80 subscribers. 77 to 80 subscribers to get ourselves to 16.8k. So if you could give us a sub, take your friends and family to subscribe, be incredible, it'd be amazing. Thank you so much for doing that. Ultimate target, of course, is 17k, and we'll wait and see how long it takes us to get 17k. Right, GM, once again, high pressure is in control and in the ascendancy through most of next week. With time, later next week, we start to get these fungy areas of low pressure moving into the south. They could bring some heavy downpours there. Meanwhile, further north, it's mostly dry. That's day 10. Just looking a little bit more unsettled, perhaps, compared to a lot of the model output. By then, some low pressure out to our west and southwest. But it's still very warm. We're still drawing up the wind from that southerly or southeast direction. And then the ECMWF looks like this. Once more with high pressure in control across most parts of Europe as we go through into. So I know somebody in the comments was saying that I don't spend much time on the ECM, which I'm not sure that's true, because remember we do also show with the ECM, we also show like the precipitation forecast based on the ECM run and the ECM ensembles. So actually we probably spend more time with the ECM model output than we do with any of the other models, to be honest, when you put like the precipitation forecast and also the ECM ensembles together. But anyway, ECM on Sunday, once more, high pressure is in the ascendancy, lots of dry weather. That carries on through into next week as well. High pressure increasingly, or not increasingly, but high pressure is just dominant through most of next week. Sits over and to the east country on Wednesday, low pressure out to west. We draw up that southerly southeasterly flow. Hot with the upper air temperature plus 20 cells iceberg is making it into the far south by Wednesday next week. Again, that's Thursday, high pressure over to the east country, low pressure out to the west. We draw up those southerly, now BC winds. Yes, look at those upper air temperatures. They wouldn't look out of place on the 7th of July or 7th of August. Never mind, 7th of September. Looking hot across most parts of the country by then. Heading in towards days 8, 9, 10, we just start to weaken pressure and bring some troughs in from off the Atlantic. Suggests there might be a bit of thunder moving in from the west, and starting to look a little bit cooler with those upper air temperatures. So it's still warm for the time of year, but starting to look a little bit cooler with those upper air temperatures by around days 8, 9, and 10 there. This is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from TibetShow.com. So showery bursts today and tonight. They carry on into tomorrow as well. After that, though, the trend is to drier weather over the weekend and into next week. Lots of dry, fine, and potentially quite hot weather. Some showers getting into the west eventually later next week. Might be a bit of thunder mixed in with them. And then up toward day 10, just starting to bring these showery bursts in off the Atlantic, particularly focused on England and Wales, where there could be some heavy downpours. These are the Oxford table within the ECM ensemble today for day 10 gets us to the 10th of September from the Icelandic Met Office. 18 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure to our northeast, low pressures out to west. We draw up wind from that southerly or southeast direction, looking mostly dry and warm with that. 17 with low pressure away to the northwest, high pressure to the south, winds coming in from the west, perhaps a little bit more with that one. We've got 8 just here with high pressure further north, low pressure out in the Atlantic, just a little bit more unsettled and cooler by day 10, that includes the operational realm, and then another 8 down here with high pressure over to the east country. Most of the options are involving high pressure at day 10, being mostly dry and warm weather. And then in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets to 15th of September, 15 members of the ECM ensemble still with high pressure over top of the country, mostly dry and very warm. Another 15 again with high pressure over top of the country. 12 with low pressure over the country. That's going to be cooler and much more unsettled. And 9 with high pressure further northwards and some low pressure out to west. That will bring the wettest weather into the west and the south of the country. Well, I think the majority option is towards high pressure. 15 here with 15 there, that's 30. There is a minority option to be rather cooler and more unsettled by the middle of the month. CFS Weeklies finally, and then we're done. These are 500 millibar height and lines breaking down into week periods. The first week period takes from the 31st of August, 6th of September. This next week we'll have high pressure to our north and northwest, low pressure down towards Spain, and up will come those winds from the south. Looks hot. Week 2 will be the 7th to the 13th of September. High pressure again in control of weather, brings loads of dry and warm or hot weather with it. Week 3 will be the 14th to 20th of September. High pressure remains in control. Will be just a little bit fresher by then, with perhaps a bit more northeasterly, but it will still be mostly dry. And then week 4 rounds it all up. It's the 21st to 27th of September, still with that area of high pressure over and to the north of the country, mostly dry, fine and very warm, with that, well, possibly a bit cooler actually with winds in from the northeast, but it's mainly dry. And if that's right, we're in for a drought in September actually, because there's not much sign of anything other than above average height pressure from beginning to end. So we shall see. GavsWeatherVids auto forecast will be DOA by that point, RIP. Anyway, never mind. If you enjoyed the video, please can you like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Drop a comment and say what you think about this and all of our videos, and don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. We thank you so much everybody for doing that. Right, I'll just talk you through what's happening on the channel tomorrow. We've got the 6 AM UK weather forecast, Jerry Friday for you as well. If all of that wasn't enough, there will be another 10 to 14 day coming up also. So please keep checking back to the channel for more. But for this video and for today's videos, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.